Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to the JagCorner. I'm Will Thorpe, and this is my friend Mike Bueller. You probably recognize Mike.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. He's been a reoccurring guest on the JagCorner for years now, for 6 or 7 years.
Doing live streams, and I was the original Jag virgin.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. Yeah, so
now I'm the Jag slut.
No, he's the Jag slut. Oh no. Bear with us if we don't answer your chats immediately, because they're really tiny. Ballistic Coffee Boy, hey, good to see ya. Yeah, thanks for welcoming us back. It's been a couple weeks since we last streamed. My last stream was Iron Soldier 2. We finished that up, and I've actually been working, doing a lot of stuff for Atari Age. I've been working on the box art for that. Mike's helped me out with that a little bit with he's one of my sounding boards. Whenever I need feedback on art, I go to Michael, and I have a brother that I go to as well, typically for feedback on my art. And so I've been working a lot on that, also some other motion graphics project, and I've put in some time into Crescent Memories as well.
Yeah.
So
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen
someday.
It will happen. I was working on, there's a few, for Audit we'll be watching, there's a few end game scenarios, so you can freeze to death, all your guys can die, or you can run out of time. And right now I'm working on, if you don't fix the transponder, that's when the run out of time game over scenario happens. And I'll spoil it for you guys. It's just shows a vista. It's zoomed in quite a bit, and there's a kind of a branch that represents like a tombstone, and all the characters have put their dog tags on it. So they're still alive, but they've given up on the military aspect because they can't get back to the military. And you don't know. I leave the text kind of vague, whether they all commit suicide or they all just kind of run off and do their own thing. And, and so it's kind of interesting.
Is that the canon ending?
That is
just kidding.
No, not the canon ending. Well, it's an ending.
Yeah.
The canon ending is they get off the planet safely. That's the canon ending. So.
And then in 5 years we'll get a sequel.
Yep, we'll get a sequel.
Maybe.
Yep.
I don't want to commit you to anything you don't want to do.
I don't know. We'll see. I've actually toyed around with the idea of.
Is that too bright? Looks pretty exposed.
Yeah, it does look really exposed. Let me see if I can fix that really quick.
It's been overcast today, so we're moving in and out of clouds. So
yeah, we're working with natural diffuse lighting.
Yeah.
And I think they have an exposure. Oh no. Heavy gain, white balance, sharpness, backlight compensation. Give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can fix this just a little bit.
What if you drop the contrast a little bit more?
Too much.
Yeah, now we look like cartoon characters.
That's better. What we need is an exposure slider.
Yeah.
There's a backlight compensation. Doesn't seem to do much. And exposure.
Auto exposure after priority mode. Can you click that and see if there's any other?
This one?
Right here.
Oh. Manual mode.
So drop that maybe and see what happens.
Well, this is just a time. Oh, no. That is the actual exposure. There we go.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find.
It's like one extreme or the other.
Maybe. Sorry, we should have dinked around with this a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's one. Okay, let's drop it down to that and then bump the brightness. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
That feels better.
That's much better.
Okay, cool. Sorry, we're artists. We want this to look right. And he's a photographer, and so...
Yeah, I'm super anal about it.
Yeah.
I won't be on video that looks like crap.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that this is just a little... I think it's a Logitech webcam. It does a pretty good job. I'm happy with it. Thanks for joining us today, especially on a Saturday. I don't know where y'all live. I think Matt Smith is in the States, if I remember right. But hopefully you're enjoying your Saturday. Here in Utah, it's warm.
Yeah.
We have been having a little bit of rain, and so
Yeah, it's rained the last 2 days. It's been a really good reprieve.
yeah, it's been really nice. But hopefully, oh, that's right, UK. Is it raining in the UK? I heard that they had rain. They had a bit of a heat wave there. ABQNM. It's Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's raining today here. Summer.
Oh yeah, it's the monsoon season down there.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been that far south, and so I'm not.
Yeah, I have a friend in Arizona who's talking about how nice it is to actually be able to go outside and do things. He's like, I can go on a morning run without dying.
Gosh,
so
what would we do without AC, man?
Not much.
Especially in Phoenix or in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I need to get down there eventually. I'm actually planning on going down for the solar eclipse in 2024.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I'll be get down there in November, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, second week in November.
Family stuff?
Visit family. Yeah.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Bring the girls, see how well that goes with 2 kids.
Oh yeah, that should
traveling
be
on their longest road trip ever.
Oh no.
12 hours.
You just keep telling them you're gonna see Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Hopefully they'll like Grandma and Grandpa after that.
Exactly. Best thing here is my new home has central AC. Thank goodness. It gets much hotter in Arizona than here though. Here we have 4 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arizona, it's either cold. It's high desert technically, isn't it? Is that high desert?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. And so it's either really hot or really cold.
You got a new
data set user. Hey there. Glad you're back.
Yeah.
Man, are you guys just always on the computer? I wasn't expecting anybody to be here. We're at 5,000 feet here.
Okay.
What's Salt Lake at? I always forget.
I think.
Is it 3,000 or is it 4,000?
I think it's 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
I went camping last week and we were at 10,000 feet, and I almost didn't notice a difference.
Really?
Except my heart. I kind of get like heart tremors. And I'd be like, wow, I'm kind of exhausted all of a sudden. But then I feel almost normal at other times. So it was, I was backpacking. So that was also like, it's hard to delineate my fatigue on whether it was altitude or whether it was strain. So
my sister wants to do like a 13-mile hike.
Oh yeah.
At high altitude.
Yeah.
She was inviting like all the nieces and nephews. I'm just like, Sarah, you probably want to pull back on that because you're probably gonna have some dead kids on your hands.
Yeah, our hike was a complete mess. It was we were gonna go up to Kings Peak, which is Utah's highest point, and it's at 13,000 plus feet. Oh. And you only need to hike vertically 3,000 feet, or not vertically, but at a pretty steep incline to get to the summit. But
that's rough.
We were at 10,000 feet, and it's mostly just a walk through a valley, but we hiked about 14 miles in one day, 7 miles there, 7 miles back to our campsite.
That's pretty good at that altitude,
man.
Yeah.
It was a mess, though.
I bet it was.
Got to the base of the mountain, and we were like, we can't do this, because by the time we get to the summit and then get back down and get back to camp, it's going to be 12 a.m. or 11 p.m. or something, and most of the hike will be in the dark. There. No,
not at night. All right. Speaking of hiking and walking, and lots of walking, we were playing Chaos Engine today, and I don't think you've played this.
Nope.
Have you even seen this before?
Nope. Well, I saw the preview when you were setting up.
But... Yeah, so Mike's brand new to this. I'm fairly new to it too. I did play it growing up. We had a demo disc on I think it was an Atari Log Magazine demo disc on the Atari ST. And so it was only like the first level or something.
Oh, okay.
And so I played that tons when I was a kid. I actually played through the game the first time just a few weeks ago. It's a little repetitive, but it's once you get the pattern down, I think you can beat this game without save states. I was playing with save states just so I could beat the game quicker, but I haven't played it on the Jag, but I played it before. I also have it on the Evercade. Oh, cool! They did an Evercade release. So the Evercade, I don't know if you're familiar.
I've never heard of that.
It's a handheld. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Copyboy, tell me who makes it. But it's just a handheld, and they're re-releasing a bunch of old games from various consoles and personal computers, I believe, like the Amiga. There may even
Blaze Entertainment.
Blaze Entertainment, yeah, I don't even know who that is. So, but anyways, it seemed to have caught onto a collector's market because a lot of these old games you can't buy legitimately anymore. And so this is the first time in a long time for a lot of these games that you can buy legitimately, and it's on a nice handheld too. Cool. So I've thought about getting into it, but I'm like, the only games I really want are the Lynx games, and I already have those on my Lynx. So anyways, but it's cool. They had 2 Lynx collections out as well, which are awesome. Yeah, and those were the only things I was interested in getting, but and Atari collections. Yeah, and I assume Atari would get some of their old games on there as well. But, yeah, so before we get playing, I was going to just show a few things here. Let me see if I can get us over there. I don't have my nice switcher here. So browser tab. And as usual, if you're watching this after the fact, check out JagCorner.com. You can learn more about Crescent Memories, the game I'm working on. There's also some blog posts about the library that I use to make the game, about Atari stuff, about editing samples for Jaguar development, that kind of stuff. And sign up for the newsletter where I will have behind the scenes content, and I still haven't done that for like 2 months now. I need to do that. That's like the one thing I have to do.
I'll admit I've never been to your website before in my life.
Oh, that's fine.
I've only seen it in the live stream.
I talk to you about this a lot.
I know, so it's like it's almost like I live the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check out JagCorner.com. About Chaos Engine, though, you can get on AtariAge.com, the Jaguar forums, and there is a thread for this. And I suggest if you're interested in getting these games to sign up or to follow that thread on AtariAge.com. There's some footage of it here. We won't look at that because we're going to be playing the game here in just a moment, and just some details about the game. So they're releasing 2 games here at the Portland Retro Gaming Convention, which is in October. Mm-hmm. It's up in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Albert at Atari Age, he has, at least last year, he had the biggest booth there. Oh, nice. So he's a big what to do there at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and he's going to have these 2 Jaguar games. It seemed like there was, and he'll have Gravitic Minds and a few other releases, but these will be first sold at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, I believe. Okay. So if you happen to be up in the Pacific Northwest, be sure to check that out and buy a copy of these games. And just one note about Gods. Somebody asked if we were going to be streaming that. I would like to stream that before October. I don't have anything scheduled yet, but I will get to that. I'm almost done with the box art on that, and hopefully I'll be able to share that on that stream as well. One other thing I wanted to talk about before we start playing, is a book that came out a few years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago. It's called The Bitmap Brothers Universe. And I'll probably talk about this again on future streams, but because a lot of the Bitmap Brothers games have been making it over to the Atari Jaguar, which means a lot more people are playing these games because they're more available. But they did this really cool book called The Bitmap Brothers Universe, and it has tons of interviews. It has a lot of old art that probably hasn't been seen before up until now. Concept art for the games. I believe this was for Speedball, their kind of pseudo football game. And then what I really like about this is they created a special filter for the pixel art that's printed, and it looks like a CRT, and it is incredible what they've been able to, what they were able to do translating the projected CRT screen to print. It looks incredible, and you have to see it to really appreciate it. Something the Bitmap Brothers games are known for is the art. I can't remember his name right now. I should have done a little bit more research, but the artists behind these games are incredible. So the games themselves, they are fun, and there's some that are better than others, but the art is always spot on. It's just beautiful, and it's really meant to be played on a CRT. Because the thing is about pixel art, you have mediocre pixel art, and then you have godlike pixel art. And to get to that god mode of pixel art, you have to design for a CRT because a pixel on a CRT screen is red, green, and blue, and they're next to each other. Yeah. And they're not mixed at a single point, kind of like an LED. Mm-hmm. And so you can do tricks with pixel art with colors next to each other that can create other colors because it's being projected through a CRT. And Bitmap Brothers, the artists for Bitmap Brothers were masters at this. A good example here that you can see right now is the dithering up on top of the building. It looks okay here, but on a CRT it looks like a completely different color because that dithering mixes on the CRT. And again, depending on the CRT, because there's different masks, black masks on the CRT and stuff like that. But anyways, if you haven't gotten this book and you are interested in the Bitmap Brothers work, get this. It's worth every penny. It's a beautiful book too. They did the cover of it. Let me see if I can get back to that. The cover is really cool. The cover, it feels cheap, but it's how they did the printing.
Kind of 80s, early 90s.
Well, it's cardboard. Right, it's just cardboard.
Oh, is it?
And the reason why they did that is that print is some sort of screen print. It's like this thick ink on the top. And it's just beautiful, and then it has this kind of tape spine look. Yeah, I have a copy.
Should have brought it.
Yeah, I should have brought it. I should have just
hold it and model it.
Because I know you probably would have appreciated it. I thought about it. I had it out, but I'm like, yeah, we're going to be talking about it on stream.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, definitely get this book. I'm not sponsored by these people or anything, but this is a very beautiful book. And I really appreciate people who put effort into capturing these stories in a physical format for future generations, because one day we will all die. And as me and Mike, we're probably a little not as far down the road as some of you guys, and you guys know a lot of this already. But someday you'll pass away, and so it's really important that we get these into books, specifically these stories. And so I'm glad somebody did that with the Bitmap Brothers, because out of all the developers and artists from back in the day, I think they probably deserve it the most. They obviously had a passion for what they were doing. So. Let me jump back over to the chat because let's see, Coffee Boy, nice controller. I need one of those. The Evercade system is a money pit if you want to collect them all. Oh yeah, Chaos came out. Yeah, okay. You guys have just been talking with yourselves. That's fine. Yep, I'm an old man, 47, but a kid at heart. Yeah, and somebody did a poll on Atari Age for the demographic.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually surprised how many people in our demographic were on the forums. And so we may be kind of that trailing generation when it comes to these games, but outside of from 30 to about 60, outside of that, there's almost no one. And so again, that's only one poll, but it's this stuff a lot of it will be forgotten eventually. And so that's why I like to highlight books specifically, because those are more likely to end up in collections, at libraries and stuff like that, and you don't have to rely on a computer that may disappear because of an EMP or something, something drastic. So books will be around for a long time. Anyways, okay, let's get to Chaos Engine. Let's play. Looks like everything's running fine. Let us know in the chat if there's anything. Exactly, I highlight books on the Atari Show. I think they're so important. Yeah, and I noticed you've done that. So Ballistic Coffee Boy, he has a YouTube channel, and he's a lot more thorough than I am in terms of reviews and stuff like that. They're long form content.
I think I've actually seen some of his stuff.
Hour-long videos and stuff like that, but very well done. But he highlights a little bit of everything in the community, and so check out his channel if you haven't already. Let's get started. I don't think there's anything else.
So is this a newer controller?
So this is a Pro controller, but this is somebody got the molds for this and did a new run.
Yeah, their own reproduction.
So this is considered a reproduction model. If you look up here at the top, you can kind of see where they ground away the Atari logo.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah, but there is the indication that there used to be something there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so show them your controller. So this has another modification. It has a different D-pad. I can't remember the name of the person, but they were 3D printing these.
And I noticed that the substrate underneath this is 3D printed. Yeah, so I was like, wait a second.
The original D-pad
is really lightweight too.
Sat a lot lower. Yeah. And so it was a bit harder to push. That has more throw on it. And it makes it a little bit easier to play with. And so very nice. I don't know if he's still selling those, and I don't have the information for that.
These buttons on the original Jag controller, they're rectangular, right?
Yeah, so there's only 3 on the original, and yeah, they kind of have a rectangular look, which I miss actually.
Yeah.
I actually don't like this round look.
Okay.
But these buttons I think work better. They feel better.
Okay.
And then these buttons, the top 3 buttons, they're mapped. And I can't remember which ones they're mapped to. It's like 4 or 7 and 6 and stuff like that. So it's just a remapping of some of the buttons on the D-pad. So.
I just noticed the weight was way lighter than the original ones we've been playing with. So.
And this one's easier to play with. It fits in the hand a little bit better. So, and it has shoulder buttons, which we won't be using any of that today. But this comes from a generation of games where it was the joystick and 1 button.
Oh yeah.
And maybe something on the keyboard in this case. And I think there is 1 extra button with this game because there's a special weapon. And we'll have to figure out how to use that. I can't remember how to do that. Well, it says my shows are long form, but the streams are twice. Yeah, that's true. That's true. These are live streams, though. So your stuff's pre-recorded. Like if I was pre-recording something, so I'm in the habit, because my day job is video production, to less is usually better. And so my habit is you pare it down to just absolutely what you need. Yeah. Get rid of the fat, you know. And so, but with live streams, it's hard to do that.
Well, we're all fat here.
Yeah, we're all fat. So, all right. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's get started. So I'm gonna do a 2-player game. There is a password system, so if we get past the first world, which we probably won't, to tell you the truth, my guess is we'll probably play the first level, the first set of levels a few times, first world a few times, and then we'll call it a stream. But if we get to the second world, we'll get a password, and we can just skip to that, which would be nice.
Awesome.
So, just checking the music. Okay, so I'm gonna pick my character here. I'm just gonna do this first guy, and now it's your turn. And so they all have different weapons. Some are faster and slower than others. If you look at the stats, I think the top one.
Oh, he is a preacher. I was gonna make a joke.
Yeah,
but
they actually changed him in the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo release to a doctor. And got rid of his collar because of Nintendo's censorship stuff.
What? There's no preachers in real life?
I guess.
Like shoot people?
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know. Maybe they don't shoot people.
Are.
They,
okay. So you have stats up there. One's health, one's speed.
Yeah.
I assume the top one's like attack power or something.
So I'm seeing like this 3 color thing. I'm guessing the black on the end is like. That's where the meter ends, and then you've got the gold, and then you have a green.
Yeah, I
don't know what that means.
All I know is the green is what increases because this kind of you can upgrade your stats at the end of certain levels.
Yeah.
With money that you collect, and those increase. I haven't been able to figure it out, so maybe somebody in the chat can let us know. And then you have a special weapon. That's a map.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
That's a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Oh, the stuff.
Plus, he looks like Baron Harkonnen. So.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. A Dune version of this would be fun.
Yeah. Except, the Baron, I guess he'd fly around.
Yeah.
And shoot people. Wouldn't be walking so much.
So you have 8 directions, and fire is B, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So fire is B. These guys that
do you have unlimited ammo?
Yes, you do. You have unlimited ammo. Your special isn't unlimited, though. Oop, he's throwing rocks. Your health is the green bar down there.
I should have gone with the joystick.
It takes a little while.
Oh, donut! Awesome.
Yeah, donut. It takes a little while to get used to the controls. What I do is I just try to be mindful of when they throw stuff, and it's better to dodge because it seems like you have so little health in this game. I was telling Mike earlier that they could have made this game a little bit simpler and it would have been just as fun because there's a lot of levels to this game. Okay, and then so the goal is to blow up these tower things, and what it will do is unlock the exit at the end of the level.
But he throws really slow rocks. Is there a secret path here, or is that just the shadows? Oh.
They pop out. They're doorways that Have you ever played Gauntlet?
Oh, maybe.
It's a top-down dungeon crawler, and you can play as a wizard or a Valkyrie.
It sounds familiar. But...
Most people have played it in some form or another. It's really popular.
Yeah.
I died. You died.
Never got to throw a Molotov.
So as I get along here, speaking of,
one.
So when you pick them up like this, they automatically.
I suppose you brought another joystick controller, did you?
This one.
Yeah.
We can switch if you want.
Nah. I don't want to deprive you.
So I died.
If anybody's gonna play well, it should be the guy running the stream.
You'll get a little more used to it.
Yeah.
Try to be more. What I've noticed.
I'm just gonna be more strategic.
Yeah, with these old games, you have to be a little more conscious on which direction you push, and it takes a little while to get used to that.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a delay too. How long is the range past the screen?
Just a few pixels. So I think
there we go.
And you can kill them off screen, but you'll lose out on the money. And so they do have kind of a drawback to that. Beetles, ogres.
Yeah. So is there like a backstory to this game, or?
Yeah. So this game. Let's see what I can remember from the Wikipedia page. This game, the story is based off of a book called, it has a similar name. It's the Chaos something.
Oops.
I can't remember. And what it is, it's a dystopian thing where they develop an AI that takes over a human being. And that's how it becomes sentient somehow, if I remember correctly. And then what happens is the AI starts taking over the world. And so they send in mercenaries to go destroy this AI, and you find out, spoilers for a game that's over 20 years old, 30 years old, came out in 1991, is you find out that the guy that the AI captured is, that's a checkpoint.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, I found balance within myself.
He actually was the one that summoned the mercenaries to come and kill him, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so, anyways, it's just a dystopian novel. Kind of falls into the Space Odyssey 2010 thing. Just a rogue AI.
Okay.
Which was pretty popular for the 70s and stuff. Yeah, that's the trick to this game, is just avoiding those boulders and keeping your distance, because it's basically instant death if you touch them.
Yeah.
Which I think is ridiculous too. We have learned some things with game design over the years. Like, this is a fun game. Once you accept it, for what it is pretty fun. But you have to kind of be blind to modern game design. To use your...
I held down a C, I think.
Yeah, there's one of the buttons. You just hold it down for a second, and then it'll go. I know on the ST you hit spacebar. No. Just set it off. You hold your attack button for a certain amount of time.
They can throw diagonally.
Yeah.
See if I can shoot diagonally. I guess that makes sense.
Something cool about this I hadn't noticed until playing with somebody else is the camera works pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm pretty impressed. Dead end. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's head out. I think that's the first level. Nice! We made it to the first level!
Oh, I only died once.
So, Ballistic Coffee Boy, you said you played this before. What do you think of it? Oh, that icon for the bottom thing, the one that looks like a jewel.
Yeah. That
looks like the jewels from Gods, which you have. I don't think you played that yet either. But there's these cool little jewels, and the artwork's so cool. They look so shiny and awesome for pixel art. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, that looks very similar, except it's all gold, but the design is very similar. So, anyways, I'm not sure what this screen is for. I guess it's just that typical. This is how many points you get.
Yeah. Here's how well you did, based on whatever.
Mud Rivers.
Oh, that was my birth name. Weird.
And honestly, I think this is actually easier with the human player. So when you play one player, it still gives you one character that you play with, but the AI isn't that great. Even though back in the day, according to the Wikipedia page anyways, this was touted for its AI. Specifically, if you don't have a second player playing. Oh, got it. Nice. Oh, darn it. The money does despawn after a bit. Diagonals. Oh, Diagonal's a little tough on this too.
Take it there's no gun with like a ton of spread, right?
So you can get upgrades for your gun later on, and I think it does help with that a bit. I don't know how much though. I've only played a couple of the characters, and each character has a different weapon, of course, but yeah. So yeah, this game was touted for its AI and everything, but it works, and for the time, it was pretty good. You can call me BCB. I know that's a lot to say. Thank you. It is a lot to say. Oh, somebody's throwing rocks from off screen.
That's not fair.
I love the bubbles here. It's kind of hard to see on your LCD, but they look so good. Yeah. I love the way this game looks.
No, it's got a lot of fun aesthetic going on.
And it's 16 colors.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Oh, and I guess what you're saying with that dithering.
It's valuable to...
Yeah, well, it tricks you into thinking there's more colors.
Yeah.
So kind of a tangent, but my daughter and I were playing with the microscope yesterday.
Yeah.
And I put my iPod Touch on the platform or on the stage, and we were looking at, I just had a stopwatch going, and so we were watching the pixels rapidly change close up, and I was trying to explain to her, like, she's only 4, so it's not like she can comprehend that much, but I was trying to explain how there were the absence of pixels and things like that. So I had her looking through it with both eyes, so she could see.
Oh, okay.
Kind of what was going on, and it was fun. It was more for me than her, I think.
Oh, that's you. I thought it was you for a second. I kind of wish that they had a color indicator, like an arrow, to make it a little bit easier to track your character, but you just have to get used to it and to what your character looks like. Man, my brother...
Is there an area up here we didn't get to?
I think this is where the frogs were.
Okay, we went up here.
Yeah, we went up there. Okay, yeah. So Eric got a really nice microscope at the thrift store. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not your normal like Walmart one. It's like a high-powered. It was a really good find. Anyways, we were getting like live like potato bugs. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was close. There we go. Here, let's head over this way. I think we can get to that island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the keys, I think the keys activate bridges and stuff like that automatically.
Nice. What do the health power-ups look like? I don't know if I've seen
They look like cans of soda.
Oh, okay.
I think we've only seen one so far. I think there are more on this level somewhere. I'll point them out when we run into them. Let's see here, Ballistic Coffee Boy.
Oh, wrong way.
Or BCB. I love it. It's great. Never played it on the Jag though. Is this a game that Bitmap is making for the Jaguar as well? I know, okay, which is what I... So this is actually the Atari Jaguar version. So Reboot, CJ, Cyrano Jones, he's been doing the Atari ST ports to the Jag. So one that he did was like Dragon Breed. He did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He did Defender of the Crown, which you can buy at Atari Age. Oh, darn it, he hit me. Oh, did you just die?
I'm toast, yeah.
Let's see if I can find another... if you can find a checkpoint, I think you'll... Yeah.
Right there.
So right there. Yeah, there you go.
Booyah.
This is your last life.
So, oh, no, ever?
I think I can respawn you at the end of the level. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I'm not pointing in the right direction.
There we go. I was having a hard time. So yeah, so CJ, he's doing this port, and this is licensed by from the Bitmap brothers. Atari Age has purchased the license to sell this on the Jaguar. So something unique. Watch out, another guy. Oh, yeah. that door doesn't close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I want to get that donut. Mm.
It's gold. It's gold.
Golden donut.
It's a golden donut.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's.
Oh, that was cool.
Nice.
I didn't. Kind of felt like it wasted that maybe.
I don't know. You'd expect.
Well,
it
it just goes off anytime, right?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. What was I saying?
Well, you're talking about the releases.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is officially licensed from the Bitmap Brothers. In fact, all the Bitmap Brother games, because Atari Age previously released Xenon 2, Mega Blast, and Speedball 2, which are both. So that's health. So go ahead.
Okay, I grabbed it, but
Yeah.
I didn't see any change.
There was a little bit. That was a smaller one. There's different sizes.
Like 4 ounces, 8 ounces.
Yeah, something like that. It looks like soda. I don't know exactly what it is. But...
There's a spitting spore plant thing. Cool.
So one other thing before we go. So down in the middle, you'll see the tower and the 2. That's how many more towers we have to blow up in order to
okay.
open the exit.
I thought it was a pond, and I just
yeah,
like,
it kind of
okay,
looks like a
whatever.
pond.
I don't get the visual language, but
I don't know how that didn't kill me. That should have killed me. Oh, great. Oh! That was close. This is actually a lot easier with a human player.
yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh no, that's terrible.
And you're on your last life, so.
That's super terrible.
Oh,
Don't
there
worry, I
you go.
got you.
Here, you pick up that. Yeah, there we go.
Nice. Hell. Did you not play this with your brothers?
I don't think I ever played it with siblings. They were kind of already stepping away from the ST by the time I was messing around with it. I may have played with Bryce and Sarah a little bit back in the day. I just don't remember. In fact, I almost surely did play with them. I just don't have any specific memories.
Maybe they just sucked, and and maybe you did too.
Well, and playing this as a kid was probably was probably not very fun. That's my guess. As an adult, it's quite a bit easier to play.
Yeah. Well, you kind of learn the tricks, and as a kid, I remember just spontaneously doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I remember that Bruce Lee game that was on the.
On the older Atari ones.
Yeah. Because we had that system, and I remember playing that Bruce Lee game, and you just go around, you hit some guys till you die, and then you
kill
do
this
something
guy.
else.
Oh, God.
And I watched somebody play through it recently, and
it's funny. I was playing that just the other day.
Yeah,
it's a pretty fun game.
Well, I was like, wow, there's so many things I was completely oblivious about. Like I think there's like switches you have to pull or something like that, and
I imagine the manual probably talks about that.
Did you get up here at all?
Yeah, I did. There was a key up there.
Okay. I'm being a bit myopic here.
He's running. He's going berserk.
So that's interesting that you can't shoot this thing until you go down there.
Yeah, it is level. It's there's a third dimension going on.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I guess I'm used to these games where basically the idea of elevation is just an illusion. You have a barrier.
Yeah.
But if you shoot, you can cross that barrier.
Yeah. Some games do that.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, it's more common for that to be the case. This one, I was kind of surprised I couldn't shoot the tower anywhere I was.
Yeah.
So.
You'd think you'd be able to do it at least from one direction.
Yeah.
Like from the left or right, rather than the top or bottom, or from the top down or something.
Yeah.
So. Matt Smith, more and more of the old programmers are licensing their stuff for the new retro market. Yeah, and I'm glad that they're doing, especially the popular games, like the ones that should be remembered, like into the future, the ones that actually, like this game, you can tell they put tons of not just effort, but valuable effort in this. They had talented artists, they had talented programmers, stuff like that should carry on to the future, because this is a fun game. Yes, it doesn't meet what we would consider good design standards for a game like this, modern sensibilities,
Yeah.
But if you're willing to give it the time of the day, it's still a fun game to play.
Oh, I'm having a great time. It's a little stressful.
I'm having a great time too.
It feels clunky, but in the same way that a lot of games from this era felt clunky.
Yeah.
Like part of it's the problem with the interface. Like
Yeah, the
You're
controls
limited
are a
on
little,
what the controls actually are and what they physically can do.
but it's not impossibly hard. You can
Yeah.
get used to it, right? It's
exactly.
like cold water. It's like you can get used to it and actually enjoy it a little bit too.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is the upgrade stage, and so they have a few different.
Oh, okay.
So this is my character first. They have this all where it just divvies all your money out evenly, or you can come in here and add specific attributes. Oh, you can get an extra life. Dude, I think I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
So that's the cost, and that's how much money you have over here on the left side.
Oh, okay.
So I could only do one of those, and so what I'm gonna do is I got that extra life, and now I'm just gonna spend the rest like that. Okay, now it's your turn.
Yeah, definitely gonna buy an extra life because.
You can't.
I can't. Wow, I didn't get it.
Oh, I thought it split the money between us.
I thought so too.
Well, we are mercenaries.
As long as you have an extra life and you can get to a checkpoint, we're good.
Yeah.
Crap, can I get anything? Oh, I can buy a little health. Do I start with a...
I would say... I don't even...
What does wisdom do?
So, that stat's blocked off, it looks like. So I think only certain characters. I honestly don't know what it does. I don't know. So...
Oh, I'm gonna get a weapon power up.
Maximum reached. I guess you already have. I'm not sure what that means.
What's this do?
So that divvies your money out between all the stats evenly, as much as it can. So click it a few times, and that will give you. It looks like your strength went up a little bit and your health went up a little bit.
Cool. All right.
So. I wish there was a way. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Hey,
I
can read it from here.
Yay, we can read the chat.
Cool.
Figured out how to zoom it. Okay.
Just wait, no one will say anything for the rest of
the time. Anybody been playing any Jag games recently? Let us know in the chat. I've actually been playing a modern game. I've been playing, and you might be interested in this. I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, me too.
And it's kind of, there's something not right with it.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it is. It's fun, but there's something... I don't know.
Silver donut.
I don't know how else to say it. Like the spirit of it feels off.
Okay.
So let's head down here.
Here, what's
or
up
do you
here?
want to go up here first?
I don't know.
I think it might go around, but it's kind of nice. He's kind of picking and choosing.
Okay, let's go down here.
Who he wants to shoot at, and so okay, I think.
Oh, there's keys.
We're being ambushed. Die, sucker. Wait, can you shoot? Oh, ouch. Oh, that sucked.
Oh,
you got hit too.
Yeah, so I actually haven't played too much of Jedi Fallen Order.
I put a few.
But I've done the. I got onto the second planet. I want to call it the hub world. Is kind of what it felt like.
I died.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Lands in that one spot. Oh, freak!
Oh, you have a nice gun, man. It's like a single shot.
Well,
ooh, that was close.
These guys don't re-aim, do they? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think they do.
Oh, they do!
They have a direction. Oh, I didn't know that they changed their direction. I just got my Jag game drive recently, so I've been playing a lot of stuff.
That was
Never
lame.
played many of the games. Liking Breakout 2000. I've only played Breakout 2000 once. It's really good. Oh, you're out of lives.
Okay. Well,
do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Keep the stream going, man.
Protector and Rayman. Protector's pretty good. It's a good Defender clone. I was playing that the other day. It is hard, man. What else? Many of Skyhammer has also been fun to play. Have you played Skyhammer?
I've never heard of it.
It's a. Did you ever play Descent in DOS?
It was very possible.
It was a first-person space. You're in these like mines and asteroids, 3D. But you could. It was one of the first games where you could change your orientation to any direction.
I probably played that at a friend's house.
Yeah,
that sounds.
It was pretty popular back in the day.
Time to throw a grenade or something.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think I have any of my extra weapon. It's usually like that bar next to it has yellow in it when you have shots. So these guys, they like walk down a little bit and then they turn. So if you can get like at a good again.
Wow.
Gosh. But yeah, it's kind of like Descent. It's a first-person space game, and you can change your orientation to every direction. But it's really claustrophobic. There's all these hallways and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Very fun game. And so the Jag version is kind of like that. I don't think you can. Maybe you can turn upside down. I think you can in that one, but similar. Recently discovered and played Escape 2042 digitally on the Jag. Never thought much of it due to the dull box art, but the game is fun indeed. I've been thinking about redoing the box art for that game.
Have you done it before?
Have I played it before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have played that one. In fact, I'm pretty sure you've seen that one too, because at Thor Media, I think that's when I purchased it, and so I'm pretty sure I played it in the office at one point.
Yeah.
But it's just a side it's a side view platformer. Okay, I think this is where you were coming up.
Yeah, I was
so
up on that cliff, I think.
Keep going up.
Oh,
there.
maybe not.
Oh yeah, you hadn't come down yet.
Oh, run, dude.
I was gonna go see if there's a key or something.
We already got it.
Oh yeah, we did go through here.
Yeah, we went through here already.
Okay, there we go.
There aren't enough health drops in this.
Yeah. So, and yeah, there's a few things they could have changed. Health drops.
That's what killed me.
Oh my god. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's your bonus. I think it just increased my bonus. So you said you press C for that?
You hold down C. Make sure you're pointing in the right direction. Oh, well, yeah, I guess for you it doesn't matter. It just goes everywhere.
It's a little bit different. Why he isn't chasing me. That's interesting. Okay.
So, one thing with Jedi Fallen Order... Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I just kind of gave that to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm playing it on the Steam Link, so I feel like there might be a little bit of latency, but I kind of feel like the controls are a little clunky.
No, I agree with you, because I'm just playing directly on my PC, and they do feel clunky. And maybe that's what's kind of giving me a slightly bad, like a bitter taste. Because it's cool, like it's a pretty game.
Yeah.
The music is amazing. The voice acting's fairly good. The script is okay.
Yeah. It's better than any Star Wars games I've played in a long time.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely.
At least one that's story driven.
But yeah, maybe it's just the controls, because it's like this is Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Mixed with kind of a Souls-like, you know, kind of with the combat stuff.
Yeah.
But the Tomb Raider elements aren't as good as Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
and so just the platforming and stuff feels clunky. It just doesn't feel good. I also don't like the gosh, die. Oh yeah, of course he hit me.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, there's a little bit of health. Not much. Oh, there's some up there. Hopefully I can get to that without dying. I'm gonna jump up here first. Ah, beetle! No, I just lost that health I just picked up.
Oh, you just picked it up so you could lose it.
Yep. But yeah, there's just something off. I just feel like there's a tone to it.
Yeah, well, it almost feels too somber, and then the only compensation you have is kind of the pilot of the ship you're in. Like, he makes funny comments and stuff, and he just comes off as kind of a weirdo. I guess is the... Can we start at the second level?
No, you can't.
Well, I thought we got a password for the...
Well, it would have given us the password right here. I think it only gives you a password for the next world that you go to. But
should we try again and do a different character, or do you want to call it a stream?
What time is it? 12. We may call it a stream here. Let's shoot the breeze for a little bit. I'll think about it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, there's something about... it may just be a combination of those things. The combat, it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's still like just timing, like to do parries and stuff like that. Has been a real chore with this game for some reason.
Yeah.
Like playing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which I would consider a similar kind of combat, simpler but similar. The parrying, I was able to pick up on that fairly quick.
I didn't realize you could do it till I was on the last boss.
Oh, really?
And I was like, wait, what did I just do? Yeah. No, I was getting my butt handed to me. And then when I played it the second time, it was so much easier because I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've just been having the hardest time in this game.
Yeah.
Getting that down. And it's frustrating because you have to get it down this game because if you get more than, you get like one of those Jedi murdering guys, the guys that are meant to kill Jedi.
Oh, the Inquisitors?
The black armor.
Yeah.
Well, not the Inquisitors, the guys with the electric
the Purge Troopers?
Yeah, the Purge Troopers.
Yeah.
So those guys with like a normal guy, they'll trounce you if you can't parry.
I haven't even gotten to those yet.
Yeah, and so and so I've just been, it's been frustrating because I'm like,
are you playing, what difficulty are you on?
Just normal.
Okay.
I'm thinking about switching it over.
I did story because I just don't have time to dedicate to a game.
And I'm getting frustrated to the point where I just don't even want to play it anymore. And it's like,
that's what. And my brother, he had played it, and that was his problem. Is he started it 6 months ago, and he hasn't touched it since because he got to a point where it was just frustrating.
It's so hard.
You know, and I'll play games like that where like a Hollow Knight. I'm on this boss and I just can't beat him, and I'm constantly going back and getting my butt kicked, and then I've you know how you can do that waypoint spell?
Yes, yeah.
I've done that 70 times trying to fight this boss, and it's just not clicking.
It's the one with the bouncing guys, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
I tried that one, and that was impossible.
That was luck, man.
No, it's
it's
like the other Mantis tribe that's like up in the Queen's Garden area.
Oh yeah.
The boss of that, where you have like Broomhilda or whatever, the big barbarian girl NPC, she helps you out.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Oh,
I actually want you to do it for me.
I could probably sit down and maybe do it. It's been a while since I played.
Yeah, I haven't touched it in 4 months or something.
I'm glad you brought up Hollow Knight because those bosses, like the bouncing like beetle bosses, I did that maybe 80 times before I beat it.
Yeah.
But for some reason it felt fair.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of how tight.
Well, the controls are just so tight, and
so comparing that to Jedi Order, it's like, oh, that is a big problem.
It feels a little janky and a little sloppy at times.
Yeah.
And and something I find a problem with is my directional attacks don't quite land where I intend them to. Like when I'm swinging lightsaber around, it's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, it feels haphazard.
Completely missed that guy.
Kind of feels like the older.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny because I grew up on Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, and that's still a game I really like, and I follow the community and like the modding community and stuff like that, and I see the flaws, but because I grew up with it, I don't really feel like it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
but I felt like I learned how to get around that, but when you have these newer games, you have this kind of auto-aiming system in the background that you can't control. It's how the programmers set it up to be.
Yeah, and it's almost like they rely on it too much because I've tried the targeting thing. First of all, the fact that they put it on the stick is so frustrating, unbelievably frustrating.
Yeah.
And you can go change that. I should probably go change that. Switch it out for some of the force powers, but they obviously designed it so you should, expecting you to target everything, but then they put it on the stick to target, and it's just like, did you guys play this game? This is like the worst way to do it. Anyways, I almost think that they should just do an auto targeting thing in that game, and then use the stick to just change your target.
Well, one of the games that I like, some of the Assassin's Creed games worked really well where contextually who you're looking at is where you target. And there were some times where you'd miss and kill a civilian.
Yeah,
you're like, oops.
I've actually never played those games.
Yeah, I stopped a long time ago.
I heard they were okay, but not very memorable.
I liked the second one the best.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did the third one, and then there were tons of games after the second one because people liked the characters so much that they kind of milked it a little. And I played those, and then played the third one, and then at that point I was kind of like, I'm done.
Hey Lee, good to see you. Thanks for joining, and happy weekend to you too. Thanks for joining me on your weekend.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be spending it with your kids? Shouldn't you? Sorry, I shouldn't be preaching.
Shouldn't I be spending it with my kids?
Yeah, seriously. Thanks for joining us. Cheers, Lee. Did I miss something? I think. Yeah, I've been thinking about redoing the box art. Police type game. I'm not familiar with G Police, Matt Smith. If you're talking about 2042, it's a platformer puzzler. So there are some minor combat elements, but there are more puzzles than combat. Yeah. And then you have actual like puzzles that you have to solve. And then later on in the game, and I haven't gotten this far in the game, there's like a runner section where it's a side view runner where you have to dodge things and stuff. If I remember right, I've seen screenshots of it and maybe footage. I can't remember exactly. It's a pretty fun game, very well made. I was talking about Skyhammer, OG Police type game.
Kids are off to bed. He has that for you.
Kids are off to bed. Oh, you're over in the UK too, aren't you? That's right.
I sent my kids off to be with Grandma today, so we could do this. So.
And I'm glad you did that. I was not planning on doing the stream until Mike suggested it, and so I'm glad that he did. And I'm testing out a mobile setup here, and so far everything's worked out fairly well. I did make one mistake before the stream started, but we were able to fix that. So I added an extra 0 where there shouldn't have been an extra 0.
Yeah, for the bit rate.
Yeah, for the bit rate. But
happens.
Yeah, this is a pretty good game. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
on some level, it's not too bad. It's a little long in the tooth if you actually sat down and tried to beat it. Yeah. There's 4 worlds and there's like 3 or 4 levels for each world. So somewhere around 16 levels, and it's repetitive. So those guys that pop out, that's pretty much all that they use for the whole game. They just switched out to make them a little bit faster. Yeah. They throw more rocks and stuff like that.
And probably faster rocks.
Yeah. And so there are a few other enemy types, but they're a little more spread out. And again, spoilers for everybody. The ending is, and I'm spoiling this because Mike's probably never going to play this game again.
Unless you bring it over.
Unless I bring it over. Yeah. Is you fight the Chaos Engine, and it's this head that's part of this machine, and he's in the center, and it's basically a bullet hell kind of thing where you have to, it wasn't fun when I beat it. The only reason I beat it is I had save states, and like I had like 15 lives banked. And so I was able to do it, and so it's probably easier with 2 players. But anyways, fun game. That gave me the heads up about stream, so thanks, Matt. Yeah, and CJ suggested this. I'm on a Discord channel with a bunch of Jag people, and they suggested, hey, when you do your stream, throw it up there. I just didn't think to do that this time. I'm not used to Discord, and honestly, I don't like Discord. I don't know what it is. There's something that happened with me with Facebook when I was a teenager that just turned me off to that side of the internet almost entirely. The only reason I do this is, and this may feel a little bit cold, but just so you know, this is heartfelt, this is warm, this is good. I do this for my business. and thankfully my business is something that I love to do. Yeah. And so this is why I even do this is because it's a part of my business. And I do enjoy interacting with you guys, but I have a hard time getting on Facebook and Discord and getting into comment sections. I don't even read comment sections most of the time because they're usually so terrible.
Yeah, so, you can only handle so much venom for a day. And so
I'm definitely a recluse when it comes to the internet. I tend to this is my little corner, and I'm fine with it. So. Same here, not a huge fan of Discord, also hate Facebook. I was even on MySpace 20 years ago. Yeah, we grew up with MySpace too. We were there right when that happened.
Yeah, in high school.
Which is the worst time for that to happen. And I think that's why I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth with all this social media stuff on the internet, is there were some bad things happening in the opening, the advent of social media that I'm just like, nope, this is going to mess people up. And it has. It's messed up a lot of people, but it's also been a blessing too. And I'm planning on sticking with the Jag in the long term for nostalgia, but it's been a great, and I've talked about this before. It's been like a magnifying glass for my creativity, for my skills. It's a platform for projects. That's how I see it. And so I can do illustration because I can work on the box art, and so I'm doing graphic design too. I'm planning on getting into more musical composition, so I'm making music for my games. And then I've always wanted to learn to program, and so the Jag has done that too. And so I'm planning on sticking with the Jag for a long time. It hasn't lost its flavor yet. So and that's because here's the trick. And I talked about this when I was doing that painting. a few weeks back when I was working on that painting. You were probably
the anniversary one. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Bob Dunlock on the.
Yeah, he's in the
Yeah.
chat.
Totally not my real name, but yeah.
So, it's so. With me, the Jag has become a love-love relationship. Oh, you're talking about social media. Yeah, it's definitely a love-hate relationship. In fact, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mind Threat. He's in the Jag community too. He does a lot of cool little like vaporwave videos with the Atari HOTS, which is this MIDI controller that Atari made back in the 80s. Anyways, he went on a tirade on social media the other day where he's just like, why do we do this? Like, everybody's just so political, and they're just angry at each other all the time, and it's so funny because I think one of the comments is like, why don't you quit? It's like, because it is that love-hate thing. There is value there. It isn't all bad, but it isn't all good either, and it'll get better over time, I think. So. Yeah,
well, Ballistic Coffee Boys talk about how he reconnected with his stepsister through Facebook. That's one of those things where it's. I haven't been on Facebook in about 6 months now, or maybe a little less than that, but there are good things, there's good relationships that can be fostered there, but for the most part, I just, it's such a toxic environment where, and I guess it depends on what your motives are. Like, if you're going there to have connections and things like that, that's really good. If you're going there because you need validation, that's a bad reason to go.
Yeah, that's like the worst reason to go.
And that was my main reason, subconsciously, for being involved in social media for a long time. And then it was like, oh, this is actually psychologically damaging.
Yeah.
I need to step away. And,
and you know me, I like to have a debate. I like arguing with people because I get something out of that's very intellectually satisfying.
Yeah, we just argued the whole time while you were setting up.
Yeah, seriously. But for some reason on the internet, people, I think you hit it on the nail. It's validation.
Yeah.
When people argue, they're looking for validation, not exploring an idea. They're not actually exploring, because that's why I like to debate, is I love to explore ideas.
Yeah. I
do enjoy being wrong on some level. I want somebody to beat me in a conversation because it feels like a fight. There's something satisfying about that. Like a competition kind of thing. Whereas the internet, there is that competition, but because you have that level of anonymity, there isn't that cathartic feeling, and it just feels like an attack because you're not interpreting the face, the body language, none of that's there.
Yeah, there's no nuance with the text message. It's or reading text. It's, here's my opinion. Yeah. And usually people don't leave wiggle room in there, like, oh, or perhaps, or maybe,
it's
or
not a
things like that. It's not a
conversation,
conversation. Right? It's direct statements generally.
Yeah, and even with Facebook, when you're doing comments, people treat their comments as just a statement rather than a conversation. Yeah. So there's definitely a problem.
Well, because you can't guarantee someone will respond.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of farting into the wind, right? So it's just there's some problems with it, but BCB, connecting with your sister-in-law or your stepsister, sorry. That's the one thing. Besides this business, the only other thing is connecting. Like there's a woman in Taiwan that I knew while I was over there. I've been connecting with her, and I wouldn't be able to do that without Facebook, because first of all, everybody's used to Facebook, so there's that uphill battle with people. I've actually gotten her to start writing real letters. Nice. So we've been doing real letters, which is interesting. But that's where there's a whole lot of value, is keeping connections with actual people that you want to invest in a relationship with. And so not just some random dude down in this basement like me, it's just not worth it. Yeah. Exactly. I got 3 nephews through my stepsister I never knew I had. We're now close friends after 20 years. That is awesome. Exactly. I live hundreds of miles away from my family, and I live alone here in the desert with no kids, no social media, keeps you in touch. Yeah, and so if you're isolated, that's a huge advantage too. I would suggest connecting with any people that are around you, though, especially if you're out in where people are spread out a little bit more, because again, if things go awry in any way, it's good to have those connections locally as much as possible. Otherwise, I hate it. LOL. Yep. But yeah, it's a good thing. One thing I was getting to with the Jag is the key that I found to these old things is if you keep them in the past, like in your head, there's this thing from your past that you indulge in, you'll find that they'll lose their flavor pretty quick. The reason why the Jag has stuck with me so long is as I've turned it into a vehicle for my creativity. I'm making new things with it, and that's how you keep it interesting. Because and this is kind of sad for me because I am creating new things with this, and the vast majority of people are just collecting and playing the old games. Yeah. And unfortunately, in 10 or 15 years, they'll stop because it will lose its flavor.
Well, it runs out of steam after a while.
Yeah, and you see this in the collecting communities. People that have had these consoles their whole lives are now selling it because you can make a lot of money off of this now, and that's how deep that love goes for that thing. And so, anyways, and the reason why I love the Jag isn't because of the Jag. It's because it's been a valuable tool that allows me to create new things. Embracing homebrew is also helpful in keeping. Yeah, and so that's part of that creative force, right? Is you have artists and programmers, creating new things, using these as tools, as paintbrushes. That's what they are. They're just paintbrushes that create a very specific type of art. And so if we can keep that going as long as possible, that would be great. So, sorry, every time I get on Steam, I download a new modern game, and it's 30 gigabytes, and it's updating every time I get on.
Multiple gigs, too.
And every time that happens, I think to myself, why do we accept this? Yeah. Why is this the normal?
Yeah.
When I can just boot up this and I'm ready to go, and it's a half-decent game, it's fun, I get my enjoyment out of it. Like, why do we put up with it? Anyways, sorry, I know this is a common argument in the community, but it is a legitimate grievance. And the reason why we put up with it is because these companies have decided to make that the normal for us. Yeah. If we complained a little bit more, it would change. It would. So because we're the audience, we're the one actually buying it. So.
Well, with new games, there's a standard of complexity that people feel like you have to meet for it to be a good game or a AAA game, and with all that complexity comes a lot of areas things can fail and fall apart.
Yeah, and so you have to constantly
fix things.
Well, and here's the thing, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I also don't agree with you because I sit my nieces and nephews down in front of these games.
Well, I'm not saying that those are better games than these games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's almost why you have these deadlines. They have to release it, and before it's really finished, and then you have to release it over time with patches and stuff, and that's the dumb part. And
it's like I'm trying to think of the last game that I bought, modern game, that was actually finished. I can't think of one. And it's unfortunate, but it's the environment we live in, and here's the thing: there is a positive to that. Because it's the crucible, right?
Yeah.
Is you get your game out early, you're able to test those ideas earlier, and if it doesn't work, you're going to fail. And the audience will tell you that. And that's a good thing, too. And so there are advantages. But, and I do need to BCB that interview, probably probably mid-September is what I'm thinking. I would love to get on and talk to you a little bit about this stuff a bit more on your channel. That'd be awesome. I have an interview with you, and I would like to get an interview set up with Zero Page Homebrew. I need to contact them too. So this is part of getting my name out a little bit. So I've been doing a lot more illustration work, and I want to keep that going. But anyways, all right.
Yeah, we could talk about games all day.
Yeah, we could talk about this.
I'm like, I feel like we're barely scratching the iceberg here, and
sometimes I feel like I'm annoying you in your life when I come over.
No,
we just talk about this stuff for
hours
love it. And hours.
It's like we haven't had any deep conversations about stuff in a while. Let's have Will over.
And most people don't like having these conversations, so
yeah.
Thanks, BCB, and thank you. Will Zero Page be at PRGE? Man, maybe I should plan on going to that.
In Portland?
Yeah, that's going to be like a $1,500 trip, though. $2,000, I don't know. Trying to get a house, guys. Can't make these expenses. Yes, thanks, everyone. Dataset user, thanks for joining. Matt Smith, Lee Chapman, thanks for joining as well. Was there anybody else? I think that was it. Houses can wait. Oh man, Maybe they should, with the market being as bad as it is now. I've kind of mentally have consigned myself to rental or somebody's basement for like the next decade, just to wait for the market to recover. But But at the same time, if I put a little more effort into the business and really keep an eye on it, I think I can get it.
Just buy an RV and travel around.
Yeah, I could do that. My oldest sister's trying to get me into a tiny home, which is essentially an RV, but you could own a piece of property that you put it on, so you have land. Yeah, but I'm just like, I need a little more space than that. If I can get 900 square feet, I'll be happy.
An RV and a couple camping tents.
In camping tents, no.
Get one of those 7-people tents or 8-people tents.
First time home buyer program rocks. So part of the issue with that is I don't want to be dead center in a city somewhere. And I know there's some requirements for geographical requirements for that. And so at least here in Utah, there are. So I need to look into it a little bit more though.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't work for my wife and I when we were buying this home. It was, there were just some weird things. There's like so many different avenues to buying a home as well. And it's, there's a lot of homework. And now that I have the house, I've like dumped all that knowledge I gained.
It's all gone.
It's just gone. It's like,
erased.
Sweet. Objective achieved.
Objective achieved. I got a house.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm thinking about doing is I can buy land right now where I want to live.
Yeah.
And just plan on doing that long term, getting the piece of land and then just saving my pennies and waiting for the market to get to a point where I can actually afford to build my own place. So I think that's my plan forward. But anyways, thanks guys. Thanks Lee. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend too.
Oh, yeah.
Your income has to be under a certain limit. First time home here for past 2 years and love it. The other issue is I'm self-employed, and that adds another wrench into that into that system, which makes it doesn't make it. There's a lot more hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily harder. There's just more paperwork and checks and stuff like that. It's interesting. Catch you on the stream. Matt Smith, catch you on the next stream. Too late for that. I should have put us up on the big screen. That's okay. But yeah, Section C, profit and loss statements. Yeah. I'm familiar with the tax side of things, so I've been doing it for about 6 or 7 years now. So, gosh, it's been that long.
Yeah,
it's the Lord. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And I'll probably surprise you with another stream here within the next month. So,
all right.
We'll see you.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.